I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but it bears repeating. One of my favorite times to take photos is after a rain. And another one of my favorite times to take photos is in the morning or at sunset. So basically sunrise or sunset when the sun is really low on the horizon. And this photo kind of does both. You can't really tell that it was after a rain, but it does affect the lighting conditions in kind of a subtle way. So what happened here is I came across this scene sort of at Theta Pond on the OSU campus on an afternoon. I don't remember exactly when, but it was an afternoon. And I kind of made a mental note that I wanted to come back the next day because it was raining. And I thought, if I come back in the morning, it's going to be a really interesting way to look at this scene. And it was. So I came back the next day and I specifically got to work early, about 15 minutes before I normally do, so that I could go and take this photo and not miss out on any actual work time. So I went out early and looked at it, not necessarily the scene you see here. If you're watching this on YouTube, you might need to click through to the blog link because there's a kind of a behind the scenes shot of the entire scene, which was this giant sea of red. The thing that caught my eye on the afternoon previous to this photo was this tree that was all red. The leaves were just completely red and orange in these deep, rich colors. And that's what I really wanted to capture the following morning. So I went back the following morning. The tree, the red tree was still there. But I realized, I had my macro lens with me on my full frame camera. And I realized that I couldn't just isolate one leaf in this whole tree of red leaves. It's like, what can I do? I didn't want to just take a picture of one red leaf amidst a backdrop of a whole bunch of red leaves. Well, then I found these yellow leaves on a tree across the sidewalk. And again, if you go to the blog, if you're listening to this on the blog, just scroll down. But if you're on YouTube, you can click through to the blog and scroll down, and you'll see kind of a complete picture of this leaf that's featured in the photo with the tree, the red tree, way in the background behind it. And that was the scene that I wanted to capture. Like, as soon as I saw that, it kind of put things in perspective, so to speak, where I thought, now I have a subject. I have this clear subject of this yellow leaf and a clear sense of context for it. So then it was kind of just experimenting of how do I want to capture this leaf and how do I want it to appear against the background. I shot this at, I believe, f11, got pretty close, but I didn't want to lose all the detail in this leaf in the foreground, which is why I shot it at kind of a small aperture. And I really wanted the background to be blurred out, but not so blurred out that it was just like a red mess, like with nothing else. So I ended up with what you see here. I took a lot of different variations as I kind of scooted to the left, scooted to the right, and I ended up with what you have here, which I'm really happy with. You can see the red. And if you don't know it's a tree full of red leaves, you might not know what it is, and that's okay. I think it kind of adds a sense of mystery. I like the crisscrossing lines, which are the branches of different tree branches, and I like the dots of sunlight, which are directly a result of the early morning sun poking through the red leaves of the tree. What you don't see is precipitation, like nothing is dripping in water, but it does add this shine to the background, especially, that you wouldn't have otherwise. So really fun photo to take. And again, rain and mornings are a great time to go out and take pictures.